Hi everyone, let's confront a profoundly painful question that keeps millions stuck in a frustrating loop. Why do the very manifestation techniques we are taught, like forcing affirmations and repeating positive mantras, so often lead to deeper anxiety, self-shame, and complete failure? For too long, the self-help movement has sold a simple, dangerous lie. Just think positive and everything will change. We've all done it. We've stood in front of the mirror, eyes squeezed shut, desperately repeating, "I am abundant, I am healthy, I am loved," while underneath that mental veneer, our stomach was churning with scarcity, our shoulders were tense with fear, and our mind was screaming, "This isn't working, and I am a failure." That feeling of profound energetic dissonance is not a sign that the universe is punishing you. It is a sign that your biology is rejecting the lie. Your nervous system knows the truth, and it will always prioritize survival over a fabricated, unearned feeling. When you try to layer a positive thought over a negative emotion, you are committing an act of biological suppression. The universe always receives the louder, more powerful signal, the signal coming from your body's chemistry. This is the root of what is now called toxic positivity in the creation world, and its failure is not spiritual, it is purely, measurably, and scientifically neurobiological. Your mind and your body are broadcasting two completely incompatible frequencies. The result is a collapse back into the familiar past. The revolutionary work of Dr. Joe Dispenza offers the precise scientific explanation for why this backfires and, more importantly, the proven protocol to fix it. We are going to stop pretending to feel good and start learning how to actually be good at the deepest chemical level. In this powerful video, we will break down the exact mechanism of this failure and implement the solution. We will begin with the lie of suppression, detailing how forcing this positive mask actually accelerates the release of debilitating survival chemistry. Then, we will expose the coherence crisis, examining the mixed, chaotic frequency your heart is sending to the quantum field when your thought and emotion are at war. I will then give you the bridge of truth, the simple three-step protocol that allows you to acknowledge your current state without judgment, shifting into true coherence and generating an undeniable, elevated frequency. And finally, in true wholeness, you'll learn what it feels like when your entire system, mind, body, and spirit is fully integrated and manifesting from a place of biological safety and rest. If you are ready to move beyond the shallow affirmations and finally harness the science of true internal change, stay with me. This is where your new reality begins. If you've ever felt curious about how people truly transform their lives using the cutting-edge science of the mind, not just simple visualizations, but the actual, measurable neural reprogramming and chemical reconditioning of the brain and body, I want to share the single most important resource that fundamentally changed my entire approach to reality creation. The revolutionary book, Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza, opened my eyes completely to the measurable science of how our focused, coherent thoughts and elevated emotions can literally and measurably reshape our biology, alter our genetic expression, and dictate our perceived reality. It provides the solid, deep, scientific, and mystical foundation behind much of what I'll be sharing in this video about true coherence and energetic integrity. You can find the link to this essential read in the first pinned comment below. It's absolutely worth reading if you're serious about moving beyond the trap of surface-level affirmations and committing to true transformation from the inside out. 1. The lie of suppression. The chemical backfire. The failure of forced positive thinking is rooted in a fundamental misunderstanding of the relationship between the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and the physical body. We are taught to use our prefrontal cortex, the seat of willpower and conscious thought, to override a deep, lingering negative emotional state. We use thoughts like a hammer, trying to pound the unwanted emotion of fear or lack into submission. But here is the devastating neurobiological truth. The body is the subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind speaks the language of feeling and chemistry, not language and logic. When you desperately try to think a thought that does not match how your body is feeling, you are engaging in a dangerous act of emotional suppression. This suppression backfires with a vengeance, creating more stress and more distance from your manifestation. Perhaps you live this every single morning. You dedicate 15 minutes to visualization, successfully creating a magnificent, abundant future in your mind's eye. But the moment you finish and open your eyes, the physical sensation of debt or the memory of past loss washes over you, creating a sudden, low-grade knot in your stomach. What do? You immediately try to clamp down on that negative feeling, forcing yourself back to the affirmation. But that internal clenching, that aggressive effort to suppress the unwanted emotion, is instantly registered by your system as an internal emergency. The primitive parts of your brain, particularly the amygdala, the brain's alarm center, do not distinguish between an external threat, a physical predator, and an internal threat, the forceful suppression of a recognized emotion. Both signals equate to the same command: danger. Your hypothalamus responds to this perceived internal conflict by initiating the full, ancient stress response, the same cascade that fires when your life is physically threatened. This response floods your system with cortisol and adrenaline. These are the chemical fingerprints of the old trauma, the physiological signature of the past self. By trying to force a thought that doesn't match your body's reality, you are generating two conflicting signals simultaneously: the high-frequency thought of "I am wealthy" and the overwhelming low-frequency chemical broadcast of "I am in danger and not safe." Your body is screaming the latter, and the universe, which responds to the total, dominant energetic signature, hears the scream. The result? The manifestation is pushed further away, and you are chemically addicted more deeply to the scarcity program. Your conscious effort actually reinforced the survival state. Dr. Joe Dispenza meticulously explains that emotions are the chemical residue of past experiences. When you feel guilt, it means you're creating the chemistry of guilt. When you feel fear, you're creating the chemistry of fear. By constantly attempting to cover these chemical states with a superficial thought, you are training your body to ignore the genuine feeling, but you are not changing the underlying chemistry. In fact, the suppression intensifies the chemical production because the system recognizes the conflict as chronic stress. You become physically exhausted, not just from thinking, but from the massive wasted energy required to maintain the lie. The gap between your mental ideal and your physical reality widens, leading to profound shame. You start to think, the law works for everyone else, but not for me. This creates a new, thicker neural pathway of unworthiness. The body, being the subconscious mind, always prioritizes the chemical state it knows. It is addicted to the chemical predictability of the past. If you spent 20 years navigating financial stress, your body is chemically comfortable or homeostatic in that low-level state of survival chemistry. When you introduce the new thought of abundance, it represents chaos and instability to the primal system. It generates a brief initial positive feeling, quickly followed by the body's defensive response, the release of cortisol, which is the subconscious veto bringing you back to the safety of the familiar low-frequency state. This cycle of thought, positive, then feeling negative, then suppress feeling is a neurological loop that strengthens the connection between your intent and your anxiety. You are literally programming your system to associate the pursuit of your dream with stress and cortisol. This process is highly inefficient, physically debilitating, and is the absolute fastest way to self-sabotage your most magnificent creations. To break this, we must stop forcing the thought and start transforming the feeling. This realization that the universe responds to chemical truth and not mental lies is the only way out of the debilitating trap of toxic positivity, which leads us to the next and critical point of failure, the chaotic signal your system is broadcasting. 2. The coherence crisis. The devastating neurological backfire of forced positivity leads directly to the second and most critical point of failure in manifestation, the coherence crisis. This is the moment when your thoughts and your emotions enter into a chaotic, energetic war, resulting in a fractured frequency that is completely incoherent. According to the laws of quantum physics, a confused signal collapses into a confused or non-existent reality. If the signal you are broadcasting is discordant, the universe, the great mirror of energy, cannot provide a clear, integrated reflection of your desired outcome. Let's understand the two major broadcasters within your system. First, there is the brain, which broadcasts an electrical signal, your thought or intention. Second, there is the heart, which broadcasts an electromagnetic signal, your emotion or feeling. The heart's electromagnetic field is the largest and most powerful in the human body, radiating several feet away from you and carrying far more energy than the brain's electrical output. Your heart is the engine of manifestation. The brain is the steering wheel. For the quantum field to respond, these two signals must be perfectly coherent, meaning they must be lined up, organized, and broadcasting on the same channel. When you practice toxic positivity, you create the precise opposite, dissonance. Your mind, in the prefrontal cortex, is generating the electrical thought of, "I am financially free," high-frequency, organized pattern. But your body, swimming in the cortisol from the suppressed fear, forces your heart to beat erratically, shallowly, and quickly. This creates a chaotic, disorganized, low-frequency electromagnetic signal, "I am desperately afraid and unstable." The result is a mixed, garbled signal sent into the quantum field. Your energy is scattered, polarized, and incoherent. Imagine trying to download a massive file while your Wi-Fi signal repeatedly drops out every 5 seconds. The download fails, or it is corrupted. In the same way, the universe, which is organized energy, cannot construct the high-order reality of abundance from a low-order, chaotic signal of fear and pretense. The quantum wave of possibility, which should be collapsing into the desired reality, remains scattered, because the collapse requires a clear, focused, and powerful frequency. Your forced affirmation is like whispering into the wind, while your body's fear is like a powerful storm actively tearing the message apart. Dr. Dispenza's research utilizing advanced tools like electroencephalograms, or EEGs, and electrocardiograms, or ECGs, shows this conflict in measurable detail. When a person is experiencing this dissonance, thinking one thing while feeling another, their brainwave patterns are fractured and disorganized, and their heart rhythm is incoherent, jagged, and erratic. This biological chaos is the physical manifestation of being stuck in survival mode, where the energy of creation is being hijacked to fuel the chemical addiction to the past. The body literally becomes a low-frequency broadcast station dedicated to recreating yesterday. This incoherent frequency also creates a profound lack of authority within the creation process. If you don't feel the truth of your thought, how can the universe believe it? Furthermore, your internal energy, the vibration you feel, is the foundation of your attraction. If your foundation is built on the quicksand of suppressed fear, every tiny external challenge, a late bill, a rude email, will instantly cause the entire manifested structure to crumble. Why? Because the body, already on high alert from the suppression, quickly reverts to the most familiar state of panic and lack, chemically vetoing the fragile, unearned positive thought. The only way out of this debilitating coherence crisis is to stop the destructive cycle of suppression. You must stop trying to change the thought without first changing the emotion and the chemistry. You cannot simply think your way out of a chemical, emotional problem. You must generate a superior, elevated emotion that is chemically and energetically incompatible with the low-frequency fear. This is the act of choosing feeling over thinking, allowing the coherence of the heart to override the chaotic logic of the fear-driven mind. By successfully generating this new, clean frequency, we build the bridge of truth, which allows us to cross from the predictable past into the magnificent, sustainable future. 3. The bridge of truth, the observer protocol. To successfully transition from the chaotic coherence crisis to stable, powerful creation, we must build the bridge of truth. This bridge is not constructed with affirmations. It is built with the fundamental act of acknowledgement, observation, and superior emotional replacement. The goal is to break the neurological habit of using stress to cope with negative feelings, and instead create a new, powerful habit of using coherence to dissolve the negative feeling at its source. This is the precise protocol I implemented daily to recondition my body and stop paying the emotional tax of pretense. The 3-step bridge of truth protocol. Step 1. Acknowledge the chemical truth, the observer's choice. The moment the unwanted emotion surfaces, the knot of dread, the surge of impatience, the wave of unworthiness, you must immediately implement the first and most critical rule. Do not suppress it, and do not generate a positive thought to cover it. This is where most people fail, reverting to the toxic positive habit. Instead, you must become the detached, objective observer. You acknowledge the feeling, but you consciously refuse to indulge the thought or the narrative that typically accompanies it. State internally with authority, "This feeling is the chemical residue of my past. It is the old program firing, not my current reality." You must physically and mentally separate your awareness from the emotion. You are not the fear. You are the consciousness witnessing the fear. This shift engages the prefrontal cortex and simultaneously deactivates the limbic system's automatic, immediate reaction. This simple, conscious choice is a powerful act of neurological sovereignty. It immediately stops the old neural network from gaining energy, and it stops the body from initiating the full, disastrous stress cascade. You have successfully created a void, a neurological space of no time, no thing, and no body, where true creation can begin. Step 2. Generate elevated emotion from the heart, the coherence injection. With the old neural network on pause, your system is quiet but requires a new, superior frequency. You must not allow the system to revert to the low-frequency standby state. This is the moment to generate the feeling of abundance, not by thinking about future success, but by feeling profound, genuine gratitude for a specific truth in your current life. Shift your entire focus directly to your heart center, the area behind the sternum. This is essential because the heart is the most powerful electromagnetic generator. While focused here, deliberately generate an elevated emotion of deep safety, profound love, or unshakable gratitude. You must feel the expansion, the warmth, the release in your chest. When you generate true, heartfelt gratitude, you are instantaneously flooding your system with superior growth chemicals, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. These chemicals are entirely incompatible with cortisol. You are generating powerful, undeniable chemical evidence that your system is safe, healed, and in growth mode.
This instantaneous coherence, the alignment of your intention with a superior emotion, creates a high-frequency, organized signal that the universe can actually respond to.
This is the moment where the old, fragmented neural networks of fear are actively being pruned and dismantled as the new, superior, coherent network is firing in its place, fueled by the energy that the old program was trying to steal. Step 3. Rehearse the coherent future, the new chemical blueprint. Now in a state of neurocardiac coherence, your thought and feeling are unified. Use this peak state to mentally and emotionally rehearse your future reality, focusing not on getting the desire, but on the unshakable feeling of safety and wholeness after the desire has been sustained for years. How would the truly integrated, coherent you feel making a financial decision? How would you feel responding to a challenge from a place of secure love? You are teaching your body what the new, successful, and sustained reality feels like. You are sending a precise signal that says, this success is stable, effortless, and permanently safe. This intentional emotional rehearsal, practiced daily, rewires your brain, strengthening the new neural pathways and creating the chemical blueprint for your future self. Practice this protocol until the new feeling, the feeling of safety in abundance, becomes more familiar, more automatic, and more comfortable than the old feeling of anxiety and lack. This unwavering consistency is the only way to silence the body's veto forever and move into true wholeness.
4. True wholeness, the new coherent self. The ultimate, unmistakable proof that you have successfully built the bridge of truth and permanently overcome the devastating consequences of forced positivity is simple and beautifully profound. The energy of struggle vanishes. The moment of manifestation is no longer followed by the familiar, debilitating feeling of panic, anxiety, or internal withdrawal. The external reality may still be shifting, the challenges may still arrive, but your internal state remains deeply peaceful, coherent, and stable. The memory of the success is no longer tied to the chemical trigger of fear or the compulsion towards self-sabotage. You have proven to your entire body through consistent, intentional emotional rehearsal and sustained elevated chemistry that true, profound abundance is permanently synonymous with safety, rest, and homeostatic well-being. When this fundamental biological shift occurs, when your system is truly integrated, the law of attraction moves from stressful effort to an effortless state of flow. You stop needing to chase, force, or control the manifestation because you have now, scientifically and spiritually, become an energetic match for the desire. The body, having received enough irrefutable chemical evidence, accepts the new high frequency as its homeostatic normal. You are no longer generating the survival chemicals that created energetic incompatibility. Your energy transmitter is clean, powerful, and consistently broadcasting the clear, organized signal of unshakable, permanent receivership. The quantum field has no choice but to respond to your state of coherence. The challenges of life will still inevitably arrive. The quantum field is always a dynamic, chaotic force, but your internal response is fundamentally transformed. A new challenge is no longer a cue to instantly revert to the old program of lack and panic. It is now instead a prompt to check your coherence, to maintain your meditative state of safety, and to generate the elevated emotion of gratitude, despite the external chaos. You stop confusing peace with the absence of problems. True peace becomes your unwavering ability to hold your elevated frequency and internal state
in the midst of external problems. This shift in internal response is the difference between surviving your life and powerfully designing it. This is the ultimate freedom that Dr. Dispenza describes, moving permanently from effect, reaction, victimhood, and suffering, to cause, intentional creation, and sovereignty. You are no longer a victim reacting to the unpredictability of your environment, your past, or other people's low-frequency behaviors. You are the conscious cause, generating the unshakable frequency that dictates the organization and collapse of possibility in your environment. This is the sustained state where synchronicities become the norm, where opportunities arrive effortlessly because they are simply matching your internal state, and where you no longer need external proof, the money, the title, the validation, to feel whole. Your wholeness, your sense of safety, is generated entirely internally and cannot be taken away by any external circumstance. The ultimate key to your entire transformation is in the word safety.
Until your body is fully biologically convinced that the new abundance is safe, stable, and permanent, it will use all its physiological power to push it away and pull you back to the familiar anxieties of the past. Your ultimate work is not to get the abundance. Your ultimate work is to become the safety that allows the abundance to arrive and stay forever. I invite you to take this powerful rewiring protocol and commit to applying the 4 steps just once today. Become the observer, choose the superior frequency, and notice what changes inside you, even if it's just a moment of profound, simple peace. If this message resonated with a specific feeling or breakthrough, let me know in the comments below. Share your deepest observation about this process, and let's build this community of intentional creators together. If this revolutionary science resonated with you and you want the tools to continue building this unshakable, limitless life, subscribe and hit that bell. Thank you for choosing to be the architect of your destiny. I look forward to reading your story. And if you're looking to dive deeper into the practice of changing your mind and body to manifest a new reality, the best resource I recommend is Dr. Joe Dispenza's groundbreaking work, Becoming Supernatural. The link for this essential read is waiting for you in the pinned comment.